Hey there, just a completion on the 5 minutes of 5 ring. This is FR's Trust Fund. He's shortlisted right now for the Pan Ams. So we're working on getting him towards that. He's a homebred of ours, 75% thoroughbred, 25%, well, part Salle Francais, part Dutch, so part Irish. His mother was a really good horse for me. I took her to Rolex in '93, so that was my first Rolex. She won a 1-star with me. I sold her for the down payment on our farm, and then she won a 2-star after that, and we got her back at 15, and this is one of her foals. I love him. He's a bit of a freak, but I'll tell you the backstory on the name in a different episode, a little more introduction on him and the mother. So today we're doing a jump school. I'm going to a clinic this afternoon in Tennessee, and I'll be gone for a couple days. So he's jumping today. I'm going to do a ring of narrows, basically. They're over there in the woods. Little boxes. They're not real big, but there's 3 of them over there. So there's a lot of distraction. And basically, we're going to go through there small and quiet and just keep jumping through until I can hopefully jump through it with, ideally with only 1 rein or no reins, that type of thing. Like solving a Rubik's Cube at speed, first you got to solve it slow. My solution for the Rubik's Cube was to light it on fire, but this is obviously something that I do take to heart, so I try to train the horse as well, and his education is above the level he's doing, which is the 2-star level as far as his mathematical understanding, but I just want to continue to evolve that. Hey, it's this week's 5 minutes of 5 ring. This one we've got a very interesting take on everything we do in our sport and how great it is. Horses are all going really well. I was trying to get a trip out to Montana for Parker to give him a 3-star run. I don't think that's going to happen just because of timing for events. I've got a student that's going to be riding at the Pan Ams possibly too, so probably not going to make that trip now. Obviously affording it was an issue, but time affording and money affording is always a problem. So one of the things we're supposed to do in the next couple weeks, we're going to Lemuelin with Libby Head and Sir Rockstar. So that's pretty awesome. She's a great kid, fantastic horse. So excited about that, all of us, for that first big trip overseas for her first 4 stars internationally. So yesterday, Libby, and we'll try and post some of the x-rays of her wrist, got hurt and broke her wrist. So that trip is completely in question. But the question for you is, can you guess how she broke her wrist? Was she riding like a cowboy, one of my young horses that threw her off and she broke her wrist because I had to get her up on extra horses to get her experience up? That's option A. Option B is that she was out clubbing, partying, got really drunk, and they were taking her home in the wheelbarrow, and the wheel fell off, and woof, she fell out and broke her wrist. That's option B. Option C is to earn money to go to Lemuelin, which she spent a year putting this trip together and scraping the money together. She was out breaking rocks and missed with the hammer and broke her wrist. That's option C. Option, ignore the sailboat. This is my future dream, but it's going to be much bigger, and I'm going to be living on it, looking out over top of the beach. So, where were we? Option D was she was motocrossing and was flying across the ground, jumped a huge jump, and crashed, broke her wrist. And the final option is, this seems very unlikely, but she was surfing because she's in Florida, and she fell off the surfboard, landed in the sand, and broke her wrist. That seems a bit bloody unlikely, doesn't it? Well, Cowabunga dude, she was skimboarding at the beach, fell over and broke her wrist on the sand, and now the whole trip is slightly in question. So I discovered something with this. Everybody's always asking why England is so much more successful in eventing than America. And I've always thought about the geographical limitations over here, obviously the culture, the ownership, that sort of thing. I think as a Canadian, ownership is a huge issue with it. We obviously spend a lot of time owning our own horses and working really hard to pay for them. In England, there's an ownership culture. It's coming here in America, and it's fantastic. But I think I've hit the key, guys. The reason that America is behind England is that in England, when you go to the beach, you're not going to go in the water because it's too damn cold. They're not going to surf unless they're wearing giant wetsuits, and that's all that they do. Over here, we have beaches to hang out at, and people go to them and wipe out and hurt themselves so they don't get to the 4-star. So all of our options are so great in this country that it limits our ability to actually get to the 4-star. That doesn't make the I think that might actually work for the New Zealand sphere as well, because they do all this outrageous stuff down there, but when they send their riders to England, there's nothing for them to do except for sit in the pub and ride horses, and obviously that's much safer than anything else out there. So we'll keep you up to date on whether Libby's actually going to make it to Lamula and whether I get to take that first trip to Germany, which I've been dying to do forever, because my first coach was a German coach at Spruce Meadows, my first really influential coach, that is. And I am going to try and post on Facebook an article about him, because he was the head riding master at Spruce Meadows. He's 40, he's been at it 40 years over here now, and he is the person that changed my life. And he's the reason that when I coach, I really take it seriously, because I realize that one good coach can change the direction of your life. And he did it for me. I don't think he's heard it from me, and he certainly hasn't heard it enough from me if I've said it to him. He is the most influential person I've ever ridden with, and because of him, I have tried to emulate and become a horseman, and I appreciate it so much. Albert Cly, thank you very much. Libby, I'm not sure about you at the moment.